Are you ready to rumble through the rough patches of wrestling's biggest night? Today we're diving headfirst into the showdowns that left fans stunned, and not in a good way. From botched matches to cringeworthy moments that made us question our love for the sport, these are the Wrestlemanias that went down in infamy for all the wrong reasons. Buckle up, because we're about to body slam our way through the 10 worst Wrestlemanias of all time. However, before we begin with the list, I'd like to take a moment to ask you to hit the subscribe button to Honor Wrestling Club. It really helps out the channel. Also, be sure to let me know of your opinion in the comments section down below, and share it around with your friends and welcome them into the club. Now, I'd like to thank you for watching this video, and let's get ready to facepalm with number 10, WrestleMania 13. WrestleMania 13, held in 1997, had its fair share of disappointments. However, we should start with the positive. What is, for my money, the greatest match in the history of WrestleMania? Stone Cold vs Bret the Hitman Hart in a brilliant submission match with Ken Shamrock as the special guest referee is a true all-time great match of any show, not just WrestleManias. And this match alone is why this is at number 10, as the rest of the show sucked. The main event featured The Undertaker winning the WWE Championship against Sid, where the most famous moment is an urban myth that Sid crapped himself during the final tombstone, making it hell for both men. And whilst both men on their day could be talented performers, and Taker especially could have great matches with people, this match lacked the intensity and excitement that fans had come to expect from a WrestleMania main event. They were left underwhelmed with the crowd. Seriously, it's the quietest the crowd has ever been during the main event of WrestleMania, and the match is often forgotten in the annals of WrestleMania history. Genuinely, we're talking about this crowd. If you dropped a pin, it would be deafening everybody in a 2-mile radius. Another lackluster match from WrestleMania 13 was the Intercontinental Championship bout between Rocky Maivia, who'd go on to become The Rock, and the Sultan, who'd go on to be known as the Man with the Butt, Rikishi. The match failed to captivate the audience, with slow pacing and a lack of chemistry between the two competitors that really, this match should have been a lot better, as they'd go on to have good matches during the Attitude Era. It was a forgettable affair that did not deliver the excitement that fans had hoped for, which was the entire show, if we're honest, outside of the angry redneck and the grumpy Canadian. In at number 9, we have WrestleMania 7, held in 1991, and this also had its fair share of lackluster matches, just like 13. However, again, like 13, there is one very good match on this show, in the Ultimate Warrior and Randy Savage's wonderfully sports entertaining retirement match. However, again, like 13, the rest of the show sucked. The main event featuring Hulk Hogan going in for the WWE Championship against Sergeant Slaughter, as possibly the most disappointing main event in WrestleMania history. It is so disappointing that the company were forced to change venues, downsizing from the Los Angeles Sports Coliseum to a much smaller stadium due to air quotes bomb threats, because nobody cared about this storyline. And as you'd expect, the actual match fell flat, the pacing was off, and the crowd couldn't care less. It was a disappointing main event that failed to live up to even the lowest expectations of the fans. Another disappointing match from WrestleMania 7 was the blindfold match between Rick Martel and Jake Roberts. Now, the concept of a blindfold match has some potential, however the execution of this match left much to be desired. The match lacked excitement and failed to properly connect with the audience. It was a missed opportunity to create a really memorable WrestleMania moment, just like this whole show. In WrestleMania 11, next on our list, noted for its focus on celebrities like Lawrence Taylor, who main evented against Bam Bam Bigelow, instead of showcasing wrestling talent, WrestleMania 11, held in 1995, the worst year in wrestling history, is often remembered for its lackluster matches and over-excessive celebrity involvement. As we already mentioned, the main event featured Lawrence Taylor, a former NFL player who, in his defence, did give it his all, took on Bam Bam Bigelow, and whilst Taylor exceeded a lot of expectations with this performance, the match itself was underwhelming and had no right to be in the main event. It lacked the technical prowess and storytelling that fans had come to expect from a WrestleMania main event. In addition to the lackluster main event, WrestleMania 11 also featured lackluster matches such as The Undertaker vs King Kong Bundy, possibly the most forgettable match in the history of the streak, and Diesel vs Shawn Michaels that, whilst it was okay, it failed to live up to the expectations and the standards that Shawn Michaels would hit at other WrestleManias. These matches failed to deliver the excitement and drama that fans had hoped for, really a way to signal how the rest of the year would go. And the excessive celebrity involvement, including Pamela Anderson and Jenny McCarthy, overshadowed the in-ring action and left fans disappointed. The celebrity involvement in this show was so bad that the next year they didn't have any. In at number 7, we have Wrestlemania 15. WrestleMania 15, held in 1999, is remembered for its lackluster matches and very questionable booking decisions. This WrestleMania had an over-reliance on Attitude Era shock value, and lacked coherent storylines and standout matches, aside of a few highlights like Rock and Austin. However, this was could just call this the Russo Mania, which has got Vince Russo smeared all over it in all the worst ways. The main thing that this show is remembered for is its wretched Hell in a Cell match featuring The Undertaker against the Big Boss Man inside the cell. Whilst Hell in a Cell matches are known for their brutality and intensity, this particular match fell short. It was just the third match on pay-per-view, the first one being the incredible Bad Blood one between The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. The second between Undertaker and Mankind raised the bar to nightmarish levels, and whether the lack of chemistry between these two competitors and the lack of innovative spots made it an incredibly forgettable encounter. And the moment that will forever live on is the shot of Big Boss Man being hung by The Undertaker. Like, what are you thinking? And Michael Cole gives it all the care of none. He waits 5 seconds and goes, "Oh no," and moves on. Terrible. And another disappointing match from WrestleMania 15 was the match between X-Pac and Shane McMahon. While Shane McMahon is known for his daredevil stunts, this match failed to deliver the excitement fans had come to expect. The pacing was off and the match lacked a cohesive storyline, and again it was another opportunity missed to create a memorable WrestleMania moment. In at number 6 we have WrestleMania 32. Criticised for being too long, having predictable outcomes and not meeting fans' expectations despite setting an attendance record, WrestleMania 32, held in 2016, is often regarded as one of the weakest WrestleMania events in recent memory. It was also the first time that NXT upstaged them, with TakeOver Dallas being fantastic the night before. The main event featured Roman Reigns challenging Triple H for the WWE Championship. However, the match had failed to engage the fans, with the crowd's negative reactions to Reigns' push overshadowing the actual in-ring action. The lack of chemistry between the two competitors and the predictable outcome made it a lackluster, half-an-hour-long main event. Another disappointment from WrestleMania 32 was the match between Brock Lesnar and Dean Ambrose in a street fight. The match had the potential to be a brutal and intense encounter, and all but promised that in the build-up. However, it fell way short of expectations. The lack of innovative spots, the underwhelming storytelling, and Brock's laziness left fans incredibly disappointed. However, I am going to cut WrestleMania 32 a bit of slack due to several injuries to many key superstars in the build-up affected the quality of the show, as several exciting matches were cancelled due to injury, such as the Shield Triple Threat with the injury to Seth Rollins, John Cena vs The Undertaker with the injury to John Cena, and Triple H vs The Rock being pulled due to other injuries. However, alas, what we were left with was still not good. In at number 5, we have WrestleMania 2000. WrestleMania 2000, held appropriately in the year 2000, is remembered for its convoluted main event and lack of compelling singles matches. There is one on the whole show. It's like Teddy Long's gone back in time and booked this. The main event, what should have been The Rock vs Triple H, was a fatal 4-way match for the WWE Championship featuring Triple H vs The Rock vs Mick Foley, who'd retired the pay-per-view before, and The Big Show. Whilst the match had its moments, the convoluted nature of the match and the interference from other wrestlers and the unnecessary McMahon swerves left fans confused and unsatisfied. And when Triple H won, it solidified the disappointing main event that failed to live up to the expectations of what a WrestleMania main event should and could be. Another disappointing aspect of WrestleMania 2000 was the lack of singles matches. There is one on the whole show, and it is the Stinkface match between the Cat and Terry Runnels. And even that has Val Venus as a special guest referee, interference from Fabulous Moolah and Mae Young, and it's very bad. The rest of it is just multi-person matches and gimmick matches. The Hardcore Invitational match in particular was marred by a botched finish, where Hardcore Holly was meant to pin Crash Holly, but the buzzer was going to sound so Crash should escape with his belt, but the timing was all off, meaning Hardcore won, and it just further added to the disappointment of the event. And the TLC precursor in the Triangle Ladder match between Edge and Christian, the Hardys and the Dudley Boys is very good, but it is a slog to sit through the rest. In at number 4, we have WrestleMania 2. Now, this event was ambitious as it took place from 3 different locations but suffered from logistical issues and an even less memorable card. WrestleMania 2, held in 1986, is remembered as an experiment that didn't quite work. The event was held in 3 locations simultaneously, and the concept failed to create the grand spectacle that WWE had envisioned, and the matches themselves fell short of expectations. One of the disappointing matches from WrestleMania 2 was the bout between Randy Savage and George Steele. Whilst Savage was an incredibly talented performer, his match with Steele failed to deliver the excitement fans had hoped for. This match lacked chemistry but failed to engage the audience, with Savage winning via a roll-up after not doing a lot in the match, because what's he going to do with Steele? He's rubbish. Another lackluster match from WrestleMania 2 was the, in air quotes, boxing match between Roddy Piper and Mr. T. And whilst the build-up to this match was intense, with Piper in particular cutting some very entertaining promos on the earlier on in the show, the actual fight failed to live up to expectations. The pacing was off, and the match lacked the drama and excitement that fans had come to expect from a WrestleMania event. And that's all in the first part of the show, the New York section. The rest of the show just gets worse. In at number 3, we have WrestleMania 9. Often criticised for its ending, where Hulk Hogan won the WWF Championship unexpectedly after the main event between Bret Hart and Yokozuna, and a year after saying farewell at WrestleMania 8 in another show that could have been on this list thanks to its main event of Hogan vs Sid with its botched running. WrestleMania 9, held in 1993, is often regarded as one of the worst WrestleMania events in history. The main event featuring Yokozuna defeating Bret Hart for the WWE Championship, where he went to the finish 5 minutes early, only to lose it moments later to Hulk Hogan. The convoluted nature of the match and the questionable decision to have Hogan win the title overshadowed the in-ring action, and it was a disappointing main event that left fans frustrated and confused. Another disappointment from WrestleMania 9 was the match between Doink the Clown and Crush. While Doink the Clown, when portrayed by Matt Bourne, was an incredibly entertaining character, his match with Crush failed to deliver the excitement that fans had hoped for. The match lacked chemistry and failed to engage the audience, and had a stupid double doink finish, and it was a forgettable encounter that added to the overall disappointment of the event. When the best match on your show ends in a count-out and is your opening match, you are in for a rough ride. In at number 2, we have WrestleMania 27. WrestleMania 27 felt underwhelming to many fans, with a main event featuring The Miz retaining his WWE Championship against John Cena thanks to interference from The Rock. Held in 2011, it is remembered for its overhyped matches that failed to deliver. The main event, as we've already mentioned, featured The Miz, the third most important part in his WrestleMania singles match, lest we forget, defended his WWE Championship against John Cena. Whilst the match had a fairly decent build, the actual match did fall flat. The pacing was off, the crowd seemed disconnected from the action because they didn't really care for Miz's champion. It was a disappointing main event that failed to live up to the expectations of the fans. In addition to the lackluster main event, WrestleMania 27 also featured disappointing matches such as Michael Cole vs Jerry Lawler, a top 5 worst match in WrestleMania history, and then Snooki's appearance. These matches failed to deliver the excitement and drama that fans had hoped for. Again, like WrestleMania 11, the excessive celebrity involvement overshadowed the in-ring action and left fans disappointed, with good matches like Undertaker vs Triple H and an underrated gem in Cody Rhodes vs Rey Mysterio being lost in the sea of boredom that was brought on by the wretched main event and the awful Michael Cole Jerry Lawler stuff. And number 1, WrestleMania 4. WrestleMania 4, held in 1988, is not given enough credit for how bad it is. The event was built around a tournament to crown a new WWE champion, however the execution fell incredibly short. The moment that people remember from this show is Miss Elizabeth sitting on Savage's shoulder. However, this does not excuse the fact that the tournament matches lacked the excitement and storytelling that fans had come to expect from a WrestleMania event. One of the biggest disappointments from the show was the rematch between Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant. Whilst their first encounter at WrestleMania 3 wasn't an in-ring classic by any stretch, it was legendary, and their rematch that had been much hyped for being in the tournament failed to live up to expectations. The match lacked intensity and the drama of their previous encounter, and fans were left incredibly disappointed by the double DQ to take out both big names. Another issue with WrestleMania 4 was the sheer number of matches on the card. With 16 matches in total, the event felt incredibly bloated and lacked focus. The lack of memorable moments and the overwhelming number of matches made it incredibly difficult to remember anything, because all the matches are short, because they try and cram all 16 into 3 hours of wrestling. Okay, it means nothing has time to build, and it just leads to an incredibly rushed and underwhelming and incredibly disappointing show. And that's our list. What did you think of it? Let us know here at On a Wrestling Club down in the comments below. Also, be sure to hit the thumbs up button, click that subscribe button, and smack the notification bell like it's the Liberty Bell, so you never miss out on any of our fun content. Also, be sure to share this video around with your friends and fellow wrestling fans so they know what WrestleManias to avoid when rewatching them in preparation for WrestleMania 40. However, for now, I'd like to thank you for watching and just say welcome to the club.